In today's video, we will take Captain to enjoy his last adventure in Costa Rica. We will take him to a very beautiful place full of nature and hobbit houses. And then it will be time to say goodbye forever. Join us in this emotional video in which we finally close Captain's story, our miracle doggy, and in which he begins his new life with a wonderful family. The day to send Captain to his adoptive family had arrived, and since he has been with us, there have been many adventures we have experienced together. However, we couldn't let him go without spending one last nice day together. So we looked for a cool place where Captain could live one last adventure with us, one that he will remember forever. We headed to a place we had heard a lot about, a kind of little hobbiton surrounded by beautiful nature. As we arrived, they explained their route to us and we just started. The doggies were very excited, and especially Captain. All you had to do was see him spin around and jump like crazy. What a pleasure to see him like this after all the poor guy has been through. The trail becomes very interesting as soon as it begins. Little wooden bridges, streams and waterfalls, and all the time wrapped in a refreshing shade provided by the lush vegetation. It didn't take long for us to reach a small waterfall where everyone took the opportunity to cool off a bit, drinking water as well as splashing their legs. And it must be said that Captain liked the water a lot, either sweet or salty. Captain was having a blast. He was almost leading the excursion, running from here to there, jumping, going up steps. Crazy. This is just wonderful. Wondering what happened to the hobbit houses? Please don't worry, we're almost there. We wanted to know the trails and waterfalls first, so that possible afternoon rain wouldn't catch us. So don't worry, we are almost there. Here we are, the charming little hobbiton of Costa Rica. It is a pity we couldn't stay one night to show it you better, and especially to be able to see the inside of the houses. But we could barely raise enough money to send Captain home, so it will be another time. We recommend you to subscribe to our adventure channel, Explore the Map, because that is where we will upload the video the day we manage to come and stay in this magical place. Back home, they idea was to go to a place where they could deworm Captain, because it is mandatory for the flight. But more importantly, give him a good bath, because after today, he ended up quite muddy, and we wanted to send him perfectly clean, but we failed by not making an appointment in advance, and they couldn't attend us, so we had to give him that bath by ourselves. Luckily, Captain behaves super well. He lets himself do everything, so we soap him well, and we even put conditioner on him, because that lion's mane gets crazy knots and dreadlocks. The poor thing was a bit fed up, but Bonnie was there to cheer him up. All that was left was to give him a good drying, clean his ears, and trim his nails. Luckily, we were able to buy the dewormer, so we gave it to him that same day, since the flight was only 3 days away and it has to be given within the 10 days prior to the flight. He spent his last moments with Bonnie and Buster, and finally, it was time to leave. As I said, we barely had enough money to send Captain to his new home, and we couldn't buy a brand new carrier as we have done in other occasions. So we would use the cage that Buster used to come from Spain, and the one that has helped us so much in so many rescues and transports since we started all this here in Costa Rica. However, we did have a good bed for Captain, although it was very big and we had to double it, which, in addition to the extra comfort, will also cause us an inconvenience later.
Uy, pero qué confortable, ¿no? Madre mía. Ahí estás a gustísimo.
After the sad farewell, it was time to leave. Captain and I headed to the facilities where they would measure and weigh him to get the last details ready for the flight. But before, the last little walk on Costa Rican soil. Here, we found ourselves with the inconvenience. They told me that the carrier was a little tight for him, that he didn't think there was a problem, but that it could be possible that they made us use a slightly larger one, and that with the bed removed. So, definitely when we put the bed in, they will definitely cause us problems. So I decided to go buy a blanket so I wouldn't have to put that big bed in the carrier, but at least Captain had something comfortable and warm to travel on. Back at the agency, I put the blanket in the cage, but the good people at Pets to Home offered to change our cage for one that had there, which was a little bigger, to make sure we didn't have any problems. And also Captain will travel a little wider. And then it was time to say goodbye to the great Captain. A hard farewell. We have been with this little dog coming and going for more than a year now. We have gone through many moments together, and we have experienced firsthand the life change that this little one has experienced. And from how he arrived to us, to how he leaves us, fills our hearts with happiness. Captain, now you are ready for whatever comes. A few hours later, Captain was already flying through the skies. His route was from Costa Rica to El Salvador, where he will make to a short layover, and then to Dallas, where his excited adopter will be waiting for him. Terri, who had to travel for about 4 hours from her home to the airport of this city to pick up our beloved Captain. We are pleased to inform you that he arrived without any kind of problem. A little tired, yes, but Terri will take care of solving that because he had booked a hotel room near the airport, so Captain wouldn't have to travel another 4 hours to his final home the same day. They took a little walk outside the airport and they then went to the hotel where this man had an open bar of food and water waiting for him. Terri was in love with Captain. It must be said that she was in love with Captain from the first time that this came out in one of our videos more than a year ago, and the fact that he is with her right now, it is something magical. Now you'll see why you can all be calm that Captain is in the best hands. Both of them had the whole afternoon and night to get to know each other and above all to be able to rest. And the truth is that Terri didn't need much to win over our protagonist. From minute one, he threw herself belly up, please scratch here. The following morning, they headed for the final home for Captain, where he finally met the rest of the pack, who are not few. Terri made the introductions in the best way, and the truth is that Captain was very well accepted by everyone. And before anyone says nothing, these doggies that wear a muzzle, the first is Hope, who wears it because of a recent liver problem, and she only wears it when she is outside to prevent her from eating something she shouldn't. And the other is Bentley, who wears it precisely because of Hope, who has hydrocephalus from birth, which causes her certain mental dysfunctions that make her sometimes startled and yells a lot, which irritates Bentley a lot. So he wears it just for protective measures. The introductions went super well, everything was very smooth and peaceful. Captain was finally able to see his old friend Edwin again, who will have millions of things to talk about. Let's remember that these two gentlemen came out of the same shelter, and now they will have all the time in the world to catch up. As you can see, Captain is going to live like a king here, which is just how he deserves. Terri has been in close contact with me since she adopted Edwin, so don't worry about, please, because she is going to be sending me pictures and videos constantly that I will also share with you. So be very attentive, especially to our Instagram. Millions thanks for making Captain's story possible. With Adopt, a story we will never forget. Thanks to your support, we were able to bring this poor little dog back to life. When we found him, couldn't walk, and now, well, you've seen him. He has an absolutely full and happy life. We ask you to please consider supporting us on Patreon or PayPal. You will find the links below in the description of the video so we can continue telling stories like Captain's. Thank you very much for spending a little time with us. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you like what we do, and see you very soon.